So I just rewatched The Sound of Music for the first time in many years, not since I was a child. And man, that movie is just filled with great musical wisdom. The one that probably sticks out first and foremost, has got to be the Do Re Mi song, right? Do, a deer, a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun, right? You know the song. Um, but not only does it have that real basic fundamental understanding or teaching of your do re mi, which is your major scale, um, there's a really interesting part there where later in the film, where they're riding through the town on bicycles and then they end up in a horse-drawn carriage, and Julie Andrews, and of course I know that's not her real name, but you know who I'm talking about. She's getting the children to sing the do re mi's, but not in that usual order that we hear it in. She's having them break it up, with a do here and a fa here and a so there.
Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do, mi, so, re, fa, la, ti, do, mi, so, re, fa, la, ti,
When you know the notes to sing, you can sing most anything.
And it gets really interesting, and that gave me the idea of like, what if we do that while writing a song, and you could do it with any instrument, whether you're playing piano or guitar or whatever. I'm more of a guitarist than anything. So I tend to think of things in shapes of guitar chords when I'm writing and stuff. Um, so here's the idea: we're gonna write out all of the available notes or chords within a scale. We'll probably use C major because it's the most user friendly, right? Without any sharps or flats in it. Um, and we're going to dissect the key of C, all of the do re mi's, and we're going to move them around, and we're going to write a song with it. We're going to do it together. All right, here we go. All right, so this is our most basic look at the C major scale without getting too deep into the theory in it. Just trust me, these are the notes that are available in the C major scale. You notice that there are 7 different notes going C through B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then the C at the end, which we're saying could be the 8th or the first note. We're saying that because it would be the 8th note of the previous C major scale that you started with, but it would also be the very first note in the next C major scale, because it just repeats infinitely. We've gone from one C to a C at the next octave. So this is the most basic breakdown of a C major scale. These are all the notes that are available in the scale and the numbers or intervals that correlate with each note in the scale. Alright, so diving into our next layer of the C major scale, you'll notice here that we've got some Roman numerals atop of our chord names. And traditionally in music, that's how we show our intervals in the scale. And if you're going to be playing chords rather than just the individual notes of the scale, then there is a specific order to the majors and minor chords in the scale. And so that's what's denoted here with the capital and lowercase Roman numerals. Is the capitals are where we're going to have a major chord, and the lowercase Roman numerals indicate where we have a minor chord. And there's a very special relationship between our first note of the scale and our 6th. That is our major and minor roots. So if we're in C major, that is also A minor. You might say that these guys have an intimate relationship, the major and minor roots. Our 7th note of the scale is where things get really weird, because you notice that it has a flat 5th. And if you've ever wondered what a 5th is in a chord or in a scale, you think of any power chord you've ever played, like an A5 or a G5, or whatever, or even an E5. Usually in that position, your ring finger is the one that's going to be on the 5th of the scale. That's why those chords are called 5 scales, as you're playing the root and the 5th. Your index finger in most instances is playing the root note of those power chords, and so that makes it pretty easy to find out where your fifth is for any chord, or any note, what its relative fifth is, and then you just move it down a half step. That's what it means to flat something, is you move it down in pitch one half step. And the reason why we're doing this in these major scale formulas or what have you is because in an actual B minor chord, you would have an F sharp. Without getting too deep into the theory of it, there's just in a true B minor chord there is an F sharp. But we notice that in our C major scale there is no F sharp, there is an F. So in order to make that B minor true to the C major scale, we have to turn the F sharp in that into an F, and that's why we get those flat fifths, and it ends up with a pretty unique sound. Alright, now with our C major scale fully deconstructed, we can see all of the parts. We know which notes or which intervals are supposed to be major and minor chords, and we've even written in our do, re, mi's so we can see where that syncs up to in the scale. So now that we've got a pretty good understanding of the C major scale, now let's do this fun experiment with it. Alright, as you can see, what we've done here is we've taken all of our chord names and interval names, and we've written them down on tabs of paper, and now we're going to take said tabs of paper, we're going to put them in a hat. Alright, we're going to put them in there, we're going to shake them around real good inside of said hat. Alright, let's set it up here. We got a angle so everybody can see that I can't see anything, and we're gonna just pick out 4 chords. Oh, that's gonna be a fun first chord. We got here our D minor is second. Reaching around here, our E minor. It's gonna be a very dark sounding song, I can tell you right now. And an F. Alright, this should sound interesting. Let's see how it comes together. Alright, so our chords that we drew out of the hat were a B minor with a flat 5, a D minor, an E minor, and an F. Or speaking in terms of intervals, that's going to be a 7, 2, 3, and 4. So alright, let's throw them together here and see what we got. Right, but there's potential in there. Like I can hear something in it for sure. Yeah, there's something there. So I encourage you to continue to experiment with it. Put the things back in the hat and mix them around and try it again, and keep coming up with 4 chord combinations, or maybe try a 5 chord combination. Come up with 4 that you like for the chorus, and maybe another 4 that you would like for the verses or the bridge or something of any would-be song that you could write out of this. So just have fun with it. That's really the most important thing, is just have a good time doing it. So thanks for watching.